want to tell you a couple of stories. Um, a number of years ago, I was with an organization called YWAM, Youth with a Mission. And when I was in YWAM, we would have these prayer meetings. And they were lovely. They were great. And we'd be praying for maybe a country or a people group or a problem. And after, I don't know, 5, maybe 10 minutes, I would get distracted. I would start thinking about anything but what we were praying about. And I really struggled, and I thought, okay, maybe this intercessory prayer thing is not something that I'm good at. And maybe you can relate. This video, I want to talk about praying for other people. And maybe you are the type of person that has never prayed for another person in person in your life. And maybe you also struggle with prayer in general, of just getting distracted or getting bored or being like, okay, it's time to be done. And so I want to encourage you in this area. And so this is how I want to share this. A number of years ago, after YWAM, I was living in seminary housing, and I felt like God told me to start a prayer room. And I was like, wait, what? I am not good at this whole praying for people thing. I'm really quite terrible at it. You know how distracted I get. You know how my mind starts to wander, and I get kind of bored. And you are calling the wrong girl to do this. But sometimes, as the Lord speaks to us, He's kind of relenting. And I could not shake this feeling, this idea that I had to start this prayer room. So I was like, okay, fine. God, I don't know how to start a prayer room. I don't even know what I'm doing. I don't know where to go or how to do this. And so if you want me to start a prayer room, you're going to have to really walk me through this step by step. And so I felt like you told me, go over to the seminary. And I was like, okay. So I walked across the street. I went to the seminary. I opened the doors and I stood in the entrance. And I was like, okay, now what? And he said, he just kind of highlighted this room off to the side. And it was this big closet. And one of my things that I've been saying to the Lord was, Lord, I don't have any money to rent a room at the seminary. And I mean, beyond the fact, who am I even supposed to pray with? I don't have a team. I don't know anything about what I'm doing. And so he highlighted this room, and it was a closet. In fact, it was the bride's room for when people would get married in the chapel. And it was full of chairs and junk and all this kind of stuff. And I thought, okay, well, I guess, they probably wouldn't charge me to use this closet. So I went up to the front desk and I asked the lady working there, hey, would it be okay if I, use that closet to pray with people? And she's like, oh yeah, let me check with the building guy, but I don't see any issue. So she calls the building guy. He's like, yeah, no problem. They had no idea what I was doing. And so I had a room, I had a space. And so I was like, okay, well, great. Lord, now what do I do? Who exactly am I praying with? And so at that time, as I was leaving the seminary to go back home, a whole bunch of people were rushing in because every single day there was a free lunch for the community. So seminary students and professors and the addicted, the homeless, the disenfranchised, some people that just wanted a free lunch, they would show up across the hall from my coat closet, and they would eat lunch. And so I thought, okay, I guess I know when I'm doing this. I'm going to do this around lunchtime, and I'll just open the doors and we'll see what happens. So next problem was, I said, okay, God, well, I'm not praying with people by myself. So you need to provide a team. And if you don't provide a team, then I'm not doing this. And so he told me to go talk to these people, different people. There was maybe 5. And I went to them. I said, hey, there's this awesome opportunity and you can join me. I'm starting this prayer room. I don't know what I'm doing or exactly who's coming or anything like that. But if you want to see God work, like, why don't you come join me? And literally every single person told me no. And so I thought, okay, Lord, well, I'm off the hook. Like, coat closet can stay a coat closet. The people who are eating a free lunch can just enjoy their lunch, and I'm good. I don't have to do this anymore. And the next day, one of the girls, she came back to me and said, I don't really want to do this, but God told me I had to. And so I'm going to join your team. And I contacted this other woman who lives in the community because this is like right up her alley. And she's agreed to as well. And so there's 3 of us. And so I thought, okay, here we go. And so we started that week. And I made a poster board sign, hey, want free prayer, or something like that. And we showed up and we just sat there. And you know what? The people came. The people came, and there were days that we would have lines out the door, and there were days when we would have nobody. I did this for 3 years. I sat every single week just praying for people, hundreds of people. And here's what I can tell you from my experience of being a terrible prayer for, other people. And I learned that it's really simple. It's about showing up and listening to somebody else. And so I would start with, hey, like, how can I pray for you? And they would open up about their lives, about their fears, about their struggles, about their worries, their problems, their joys. And they would share a glimpse of their life with me. And I would sit there, and I realized that it was an honor for me to sit with them and to then join them in prayer and lead a prayer as we went into the throne room of the Father, and be able to share what was on our hearts and do it together. And I realized something really important, that a lot of people, they don't know how to enter into the throne room of God with boldness or at all. And sometimes you need a friend to join you. And so I was that friend. And I was able to, and our team was that friend. We would sit there and we would say, okay, well, let's do it together. And I got to tell you, I have seen God do the most miraculous things. And that was one of my selfish ambitions in the very beginning, as I thought, okay, if maybe God can use me. I wasn't anybody. I'm nobody special. I'm just another gal. And maybe God can do the miraculous through me. Maybe I will see people healed because of this prayer. Maybe if I pray enough times, I'll see miraculous things happen. Maybe lives will be transformed, or people's hearts will be transformed, or their futures transformed, and I get to witness it. And when I started seeing things that way, that not only could I be a friend that to this person that was entering into the throne room of my Father and saying, hey, Dad, we got a problem and we need your help. Not only did I get to do that, but I did get to witness miraculous healings, miracles happen, lives restored, people coming to Jesus for the first time. I didn't offer anything but prayer. I didn't have money. I didn't have resources. I didn't have food. I didn't have anything but prayer. And so I don't know how you have approached this. Maybe you are like I was and thought, okay, I'm really terrible at this, or maybe you've never done it. And I gotta say, you're missing out. Because in all of my time, and now I just randomly go up to people and say, hey, do you need prayer? But in all of my times praying with people, I have never had anybody yell at me. I've never had anybody angry with me. I've had people say no, and they've usually been very thankful or respectful. I've had people say, yeah, you can pray for me, but not in person. And I would say, okay, I want you to be assured that I'm praying for you. And I then actually would do it. I would actually pray for them. And It is the greatest adventure. I remember my friend and I who had said no and then came back and said yes. I remember multiple times throughout the couple of years that we did this, um, just walking away at the end of the day when we were done praying with people saying, I can't believe we get to do this. Wasn't paid to do it. It wasn't a job. It was just something that God told me to do. And I was obedient. I was scared. I didn't know what I was doing, but I was obedient. And so my encouragement is this: who do you know that needs you to say, hey, I care about you enough to go before God with you? Not for you, although that's important too, but with you. Who do you see walking around in your life that maybe could use you saying, hey, I see you and I care about you and I care about your problem and I want to invite you into the presence of God with me, and let's see what he can do about this. And maybe we'll see something miraculous and maybe we won't, but we know that he hears and that he answers and that he's gonna send some kind of response. And at the end of the day, they walk away knowing that at least somebody cared enough to do it. Maybe you've never prayed for somebody else out loud or in a group. Maybe you are afraid, and I'm going to tell you that I was too. But I want to encourage you, find somebody. Make a habit of it. The first time is always the hardest for anything. Take a step in faith. Go and find somebody to pray with today, tomorrow, this week. Set a goal. And I guarantee you that it will change your life, that you will see God move, that you will see him work, you will see miracles happen, that you will learn to love praying for other people. And so that is my encouragement. It's easy for us to pray on our own. Sometimes, well, maybe not all of us, but it is easier to pray by ourselves. And sometimes it's easier to pray for other people than even ourselves or our own problems. But I also know that we miss out on seeing God work when we don't pray with other people. And so I just want to encourage you. I don't know where you're at, and that's okay. But I want to encourage you, find somebody and pray with them this week. All right, thanks.